Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Panorama, reaching you live from Maiduguri Network Center. In today's package, adoption of information and communication technology in public service delivery, no longer an option as President Muhammadu Buhari receives high-level professionals of ICT groups. Quest to provide decent broadcast media landscape, Information Minister directs strategic repositioning of the industry. United Nations Development Program extends Borno State Government Environmental Protection Program by 3 months. And our discussion will focus on LPG explosions and maintenance of safety measures. I am Muhammad Ibrahim. The federal government says education will henceforth be accorded topmost priority, especially through the provision of infrastructure and capacity building in the nation's universities so as to produce quality graduates for nation building. President Muhammadu Buhari, who made this known while receiving the leadership of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, said effective and efficient operations of universities will go a long way towards enhancing the nation's economy, especially with focus on science and technology. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari was emphatic that the future of the Nigerian nation depends largely on the quality of education, and therefore certificates from those intellectual ivory towers must be credible to inspire confidence. He urged members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities to assist the federal government in realizing the desired objectives.
The Ministry of Education, we have a lot of work to do in organizing the universities and making them credible by putting proper infrastructure and getting qualified staff. We will make sure of the standards and the resources to be made available to so that our qualifications are credible, not only in Nigeria but all over the world.
The president, however, made a strong case for the university lecturers to comply with the ongoing verification and validation of human resources in the universities towards guaranteeing optimum output.
We have to have a high-powered inquiry within the Constitution and see how much the universities should be allowed in terms of management of resources and the personnel.
Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed explained that out of the 137,016 academic and non-academic staff members of the universities, over 90,000 have been enrolled in the Integrated Payment and Personnel Information System, urging ASU to encourage the remaining 40,000 to comply with the process. She said many anomalies were discovered in the university structure that have contributed to the high cost burden. These include staff working and earning pay in more than one university, contract staff on payroll of the government, tax reductions on payee, and multiple employments. The minister disclosed that some universities had rushed to recruit more staff before the IPPIS registration commenced, which was, however, detected.
Our view, Your Excellency, is that while it is clear that ASU has peculiarities, that those peculiarities should be clearly recognized and special provisions made for them, rather than having those special peculiarities put and carried on the payroll. Bringing the universities on the payroll will not erode their independence or autonomy. It will only help government to manage the very scarce resources that we're having to deal with at this time.
You might not be aware that the total combination of personnel costs and overheads accounts for over 70% of our national budget. We have a lot to do to ensure that the cost-saving measure is put in place so that we can release these funds to deploy them to education, to infrastructure, to provision of power, and all other things that will make life more meaningful for our people.
I want to thank you people that after our February meeting, there was nothing like industrial unrest. You understood that we were passing through dire straits. So in the same spirit, we can marry youths with IPs, because they're all saying the same thing.
Emergency in education, sir, it is high time this government declared it.
The president of ASU, Professor Biodun Agunyemi, said the implementation of agreements between ASU and federal government over the years will go a long way in improving the quality of education in the universities.
Nigerian universities can make meaningful contributions to addressing the challenges of the country, e.g., economy, security, and corruption, if given the opportunities.
The ASU president, however, described IPPIS as a disruptive intrusion which not only violates the laws of the Federation and University statutes, but also agreements between the federal government and ASU. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Muhammad Buhari says the adoption of information communication technology in public service delivery is no longer a luxury but a pressing necessity. The president stated this while granting audience to the executive members of various information technology professional groups in Nigeria on solidarity visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Information technology is the driving force for social and economic change.
The future, President Muhammadu Buhari emphasized, belongs to information technology, saying what was unimaginable 20 years ago is today a reality. This, he said, informed his administration's numerous policy decisions and substantial investments in the critical economic sector. As the president explains, the intention is to ensure that the benefits of what he called technology-driven age is felt by all the nearly 200 million Nigerians.
Indeed, our strategy for inclusive economic growth can only be achieved by leveraging the technology tools available to us. Already, we have seen the benefits of using technological tools to fight corruption and reduce leakages and inefficiencies in public service delivery.
The federal government, he also said, is leveraging technology platforms to boost agricultural production, battle pockets of insecurity in parts of the country, as well as impact the lives of the less privileged through the social investment programs.
For us, technology in public service delivery is no longer a luxury. I therefore request that you all continue to partner with government at all levels to ensure the benefits of this tool is realized and at the same time its threats are eliminated.
On the visit include the Computing and Information Technology Professionals and Community in Nigeria, the Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, and the Nigeria Computer Society. Professor Charles Uwadia, who spoke on their behalf, appreciated President Buhari for his commitment to the improvement of the lives of the people through information, communication technology, and digital economy.
Your Excellency, we the IT professionals commend you for the immense and giant strides that your administration has made and is still making in nation building. Within the space of the past 4 years, you have achieved a lot, deepening IT in Nigeria due to the realization that ICT is a tool for empowerment of Nigerians and eradicating poverty. I wish to assure His Excellency that relevant agencies such as NIBDA, NOTAP, BPE, and other professionals in the IT sector will continue to cooperate and collaborate with one another to move our dear nation to the next level.
He enumerated the effective implementation of the Treasury Single Account, increasing government revenue by over 3 trillion naira, entrenching transparency and accountability, diversifying the economy, as well as ensuring security and fighting corruption, leveraging on the enabling power of the ICT as some of the notable achievements recorded by government. While making a case for an import tax on all software imported into Nigeria to fund local software development activities, the IT professionals formally invited President Muhammadu Buhari to be the Chief Marketing Officer for Made in Nigeria software. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has directed the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, to immediately implement measures aimed at repositioning the broadcast industry with a view to bringing sanity into the sector. This was contained in a statement by the Information and Culture Minister, signed by his Special Assistant on Media, Segun Adeyemi.
The minister said the directive has become necessary following the submission of the report of the committee which was set up to work at modalities for implementing the recommendations approved by President Muhammadu Buhari to reposition the broadcast industry in Nigeria. This move, Lai Mohammed explained, is necessitated by the satisfactory report of the committee, which was very professional and detailed. Hence, the directive to the Commission to take necessary measures to effect the implementation of the various provisions contained therein. This directive covers the provision for the regulation of the web and online television and radio, regulation of international broadcasters beaming signals into Nigeria, hate speech, human resources, and staff welfare, funding for the reform's implementation, monitoring, independence of the regulator, and ease of issuing licenses, as well as competition and monopoly issues are part of the recommendation. Other highlights of the minister's directive include new regulations to compel broadcasters to utilize the content and services of Nigerian independent producers in fulfillment of the regulatory requirements for 70% local content, rather than current abuse of the rules, which allow many loopholes for the production of such content in jurisdictions outside Nigeria. This, the minister upheld, will empower local producers with proper funding and investment, enhance foreign collaboration, develop the local industry, raise the standard of local productions, and ultimately lead to job creation. The new regulations will also ensure that content producers are paid promptly for adverts and sponsored content placed on all TV, radio, and broadcast platforms. The rule is to also ensure that production of adverts are localized to create and promote local production, and where it is not, it will attract charges every time such an advert is aired, with the charge being put into fund to help develop local expertise in production. For musical content, the new regulation will ensure that broadcasters are prevented from illegal and unpaid use of musical works without payment of the applicable license fees and or royalties required by musical right owners. Similar provision will prohibit exclusivity of sporting rights in Nigeria, as a new regulation now mandates broadcasters and exclusive licensees to share such rights with other broadcasters to boost reach and also maximize utilization by all broadcasters of premium content in order to grow their platforms and investment in other content. This regulation prevents the misuse of monopoly or market power or anti-competitive and unfair practices by a foreign or local broadcaster to suppress other local broadcasters in the television and radio markets. Having removed exclusivity from all content in Nigeria and mandated the sharing of all content upon payment of commercially viable fees, the statement maintained. Expressing confidence that the new regulations, which are due to come into effect this month, will re-energize the broadcast industry, deliver real value in the sector, and grow the creative industry for the benefit of all practitioners.
In the wake of recent liquefied petroleum gas LPG explosions, the proliferation of retail sales outlets has continued to raise concern over safety standard in the industry. With potential to cause massive destruction to lives and property, Abubakar Mohamed Musa examines safety measures in the sales and usage of domestic gas.
There is no disputing the fact that liquid petroleum gas is clean, relatively cheap, readily available with low negative impact on the environment. However, in the last few years, the nation has recorded significant loss of lives and property to gas explosions, mostly at the gas plant in the process of dispensation and transporting. Last week in Kaduna, several persons lost their lives to illegal refilling of gas at an outlet. August 2019, many people died in Oshimili, Delta State. Similar disaster in September 2018 killed 35 people in Lafia, Nasarawa State, while over 40 died on Christmas Eve 2015 at an LPG plant in Newi, Anambra State, with the list endless. With the recurring phenomenon and gas leading other sources of energy for cooking, there is increasing concern for the raising of safety standards.
I just need to be more careful. I just need to make sure that I concentrate whenever I'm dealing with gas.
We have some major facilities of safety, like leak detectors, tank safety valve, line safety valves. We have such things to avoid any hazard.
Experts are insisting that plants must be sited far from residential areas, stringent safety measures in licensing, checking of substandard cylinders, improper storage and refilling procedures
But what we need to do now is for us to for people to do all the necessary precautions when there are gas stations. And then we also need to enlighten those people, the vendors, because most of those people that interchange gas to gas, they are not trained.
If you are using gas, you are supposed to keep the cylinder outside, at least very outside, some meters away from your kitchen.
Public sensitization by fire service and other safety professionals will play a major role in reducing disaster related to gas use in homes and service outlets in Maiduguri. Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
The use of liquefied petroleum gas is now everywhere across the country, and it is getting more and more popular. However, incessant gas explosions at LPG plants and homes, leading to loss of lives and property, is of major concern. Where does the problem lie, and how can we raise safety standards? With me in the studio to discuss this issue is the Commandant, Federal Fire Service Zonal Training School, Maiduguri, Assistant Controller Fire, ACF Hassan Liman. You're welcome to Panorama.
Thank you very much, Ifan.
Let's start with what are the causes of gas explosions at domestic plants, outlets, and homes, leaving behind a trail of destruction at its wake?
There are many causes of explosions with regard to gas, but the underlying factor is the negligence, because there are safety standards with regards to storage, handling, carrying, transportation, and usage. So whenever there is a breach of this standard and negligence on the part of the user, there is bound to be an accident, which is an explosion. And the second issue is the use of substandard cylinders or expired cylinders. Cylinders do expire. They have their, more especially the smaller ones, they have their expiry date on it. So we have to be conscious of this and make sure that we do not pressurize expired cylinders, because when you pressurize them, then they cannot withstand the pressure, and the next thing is the explosion. And then the other factor also is over-pressurizing our cylinders. Mostly it happens with these local refillers. You find out that they don't have the necessary gauges to know the quantity of the gas that is they have been transferring into the smaller cylinders. So the issue is that you find out that while trying to refill, they over-refill. That's the over-pressurize the cylinder, and it ends up in explosions.
Okay. In view of the proliferation of explosions, what safety measures should be in place to minimize occurrences and safeguard lives?
There are safety standards set out by the fire service and the Department of Petroleum Resources, that's the DPR, who gives us the license for storage and sales. The issue is that the first, you ensure that you do not site a gas or in a situation whereby there are businesses that are hot-related businesses like welding and fabrications, restaurants, food sales, and whatever. So they are supposed to be in a secluded area where the place is calm, and they will go about their businesses without unnecessarily giving a hot temperature to that area. So, and also they must have the minimum required equipment that like leak detectors, automatic shutters, and all these things. So without this, you are just operating on your own, and before you know it, you are causing danger to yourself and the general public.
Okay. Then what factors should be considered at community and government levels while approving licenses for operations of liquid gas outlets and handling of gas cylinders?
Yes. There are several factors. Like I had mentioned earlier, one, the location. You don't give license to gas operators in shops that are doing businesses that are not going to be compatible. Then the second issue is that you ensure that these, before you license them, you ensure that all the necessary safety requirements, they are met of all the necessary safety standards before issuing licenses. All I know is that before you even build a plant, you need to come to fire service, you go and inspect the place, know that yes, this location is suitable for gas plant. Then before we give you the first approval to build, then you go to the DPR. Then after building, the DPR will come and inspect, know that yes, all the necessary safety standards. Then the fire service will come in and see that okay, you have complied with all the necessary standards before they will give you the license for sales and storage. Then you go back to DPR where they will okay you. So these are, and then for the general public and the community, they need to be enlightened. There are safety measures in handling and usage of fire extinguishers, gas cylinders. Like in the kitchen, you don't put it down sideways. You always, it has to be upright anytime. And then you don't shake it and know whether the content is in or you don't shake it. All you need is just pour water on the cylinder and it will tell you the level of so these are some of the measures that you need to take.
Okay, thank you, ACF Hassan Liman, for coming on Panorama.
Thank you very much, it's my pleasure.
The long-anticipated Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Operation Amotekun, has been inaugurated in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, with the aim of providing adequate security for the southwest region as a complement to the statutory security provided by Nigerian security agencies. Correspondent Ayomiku Ajibola has the details.
With 120 branded operation vehicles, 20 vans from each state of the 6 southwest states, the Western Nigerian Security Network, Amotekun, initiated by the 6 southwest governors, is expected to curtail kidnappings and killings in the region.
Our contribution at the regional level will serve as effective complement to the security architecture that may be put in place by the federal government.
Amotekun is a complement that gives our people confidence that they are being looked after.
We are coming together to fight a common enemy. The enemies are the elements among us and their affiliates who are determined to cause commotion within the borders of our state and threaten our peaceful coexistence.
With personnel made up of local hunters, members of vigilante groups, men of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and Oodua People's Congress, OPC, Amotekun was the outcome of security summit organized by Dawn Communication in Ibadan 6 months ago. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Program UNDP has keyed into the Sustenance Waste Management and Environmental Protection Program of the Borno State Government, a scheme designed to empower youths across the state. Funded by the European Union, the UN agency will continue with the scheme for the next 3 months following expiration of 6 months program of the state government at the end of December 2019. Mohammed Goni reports.
The present administration in the state has, from assumption of office, sent a strong signal to the youth in the state, especially those involved in political trouble, restiveness and other social vices, that it will not tolerate lawlessness and indiscipline. This informed the decision on the part of the state government to come up with wide range of policies and programs geared towards empowering the youth through skill acquisition, entrepreneurship development through support for MNCs, as well as the 6 month sustainable waste management and environmental programs, which ended in December 2019. Each of the close to 3,000 beneficiaries of the cash for sanitation program received the sum of 30,000 naira for the period of 6 months, under which the state government expended over 515 million naira. Governor Babagana Umara said, with improvement of security situation in the state, the focus of government has shifted to rehabilitation and resettlement, revamping of the economy, as well as supporting youth to direct their energy to productive ventures.
The scheme is coming to a close. Gracious, the secure divine in of the United Nations Development Program carrying on with this laudable project. So for the next 3 months, program will be handled by the UN. Highly appreciate this wonderful guest and timely intervention.
UNDP's representative, Yoshaki Nogoshi, informed the gathering that apart from paying 30,000 naira to the beneficiaries, the governor has directed that the intervention be extended to Bama and the local government areas. Commissioner for Youth and Sport Development, Sayin Nabuba, noted that the scheme has touched the lives of the beneficiaries and their families. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
That post brings us to the end of the program. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant weekend.